Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. As Cartman would say, I guess. Or no, Mr. Hanky. Howdy ho! Hope everybody's doing fantastic today. It's a great day. There are no bad days. Except for this is a bad chair. I'm going to switch chairs. And no, I won't take the time to edit that out. So what's happening? Let's see. Well, I came out here with a point and I wanted to talk about a few things. Now I just have to remember what those points were. I guess I went to a concert last night, and it was Dark Star Orchestra, and they're a cover band that play Grateful Dead concerts from front to back. You don't know what they're going to play until you get there, and they've been playing for a long time. I mean, I think like 25 years or something. So as long as it had been since the Grateful Dead had started, when I started listening to them in about 1990, and it's it's because they do a really great job. You know, it's like they're playing Dead shows, but they're not making mistakes like the Dead did so often. You know, you never knew what kind of a mood they'd be in. But anyway, it's really cool to hear a show replicated, because every time you have different instruments and different... yeah, so I got my pin, and I guess that was one of the things I wanted to talk about. It's this pin right here, and that's the Dark Star one. Oh, of course, I bought this last night too. It's a Papadosio pin, and yes, it's the all-seeing eye. I bought that because it was the first one I saw. The guy was selling them out front, you know, and I was like, I'll take that one. And I just didn't want to make any more decisions because I knew that it's such a controversial shill symbol, you know, to me, and I've done, you know, anyway, it was the perfect fit. Well, actually, it's kind of hard to show, but it has the olive branches on the side. And you know, I understand what they're getting at, because the meaning behind the band, they're really motivated to bring people together. So anyway, all the different music I listen to, you know, of course, I buy these little pins. And it's funny because last night I was thinking of kind of how cheesy it is. I've gone back and forth between like costumes that people wear, you know, and how we dress up. And everybody has their own thing, you know. For some people, the suit and the tie, you know, their tie set them apart from their people. And for other people, they're so extreme that they've got dreadlocks and beads everywhere, you know. And then me, I'm somewhere in between, you know. I grew up as kind of a hippie type guy, but anyway, to get to the point, these little pins that they put on the hats, these are like badges. And I thought that in the 60s, they had patches, you know, everybody wore patches. And then I guess in the 70s it was more the patch phase, and then into the 80s it went into like buttons. And it's funny because in the 90s there was a lot of variety of things, iron-on patches and buttons that people would wear, and jean jackets. But nowadays I've realized that these little tags here, they're more than just well, let's just call them medals, if you will. Let's compare them to military medals. And no, I'm not trying to belittle the soldier at all. I'm trying to make the example of when a soldier goes to battle and they have, even if they don't go to battle, a lot of people get medals for a variety of reasons. Or even like Boy Scouts, okay, Cub Scouts. So you're earning these badges and you're wearing them with pride because that's where you've been. Those are things you've accomplished. And for people who are into festivals, concerts and stuff, you might not think that that's an accomplishment. Buying a pin at a concert, so what? You're at a concert. What you're doing is you are celebrating your heritage and what you believe is awesome, you know, what you think is great. And the people who are like-minded will, you know, understand, and those who aren't just won't, and that's just how it is. This is what we do as humans, you know. We find people that we relate to, and I'm not going to deny that. You know, I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to enjoy, you know, being part of something greater, especially when most of the people are cool as hell. You know, you go to a show like DSO last night, and everybody there is like, hey. And it's funny, you can walk around and you bump into people, or you can make it through the crowd and nobody gets angry or upset. It's the kind of place where people are all just having a great time. And you know, I've gone to a lot of concerts in my life, and some of them people are, you know, kind of dicks or standoffish, but no, never at a show like that. And that's why I like associating and being part of that. And, oh, by the way, I got this fish one right here, and somebody asked me about it. It says Fish in it, the band, but it's also like one of 100 that were made with Magic Carp is the name of it, and it's it was a Pokemon, You know, some girl asked me at the store the other day, and I was like, I totally forgot that that's what it was. So, yeah. Weirdest thing at the show last night. Oh my God. Somebody came up to me. Okay, no, the last time I was at the Crystal Ballroom for Modest Mouse show like a month ago, I was standing in this particular spot on the floor. And I remember saying to my wife, and she remembers this too, I said, wouldn't that be weird as hell if somebody came up and said, oh, are you Carpo from YouTube? Because I was like, that's never going to happen, you know? It's like, I've got a few thousand subscribers and there's billions of people in the world. What's the chances, you know? And lo and behold, last night I'm standing in that same spot and this dude walks up to me and he's like, dude, are you Carpo? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh man, I watch your channel on YouTube. And then he said something like, oh, I don't want to make a big deal about it or anything, but that's just weird, you know? And then he just kind of wandered off and I was like, that is weird. And didn't think much of it except for just like, it's just how things happen. You know, you meet people. I don't remember his name, damn it. So if you're out there, dude, it was cool meeting you. Weird coincidences and strange things that happen in life, the synchronicities. And my synchronicities and awesome moments all revolve around music. Music is like what life is about for me. It's more than just a band or particular songs. I even go to, you know, Soak, which is like the Burning Man regional, and I'm really excited to go this year, even though there's no live music really. You know, I was introduced to it through our band. We played like jam band music, and they had a few bands that would play, so we were invited to play, and I was so stoked on Soak. The place was just awesome. I had a great time, and now I go every year, and so if you volunteer, you get a ticket for the next year, and there's, you know, you got lots of time to volunteer while you're there, and it's a community-run thing. And like the festival circuit, like the Grateful Dead, Fish, all these different bands, which some people gripe and pick and say, oh, Fish isn't the same as the Dead, or that, oh, they're not the same without this guy or that guy. Some people are so obsessed about the details of the music, they basically live vicariously through these bands and get upset when they make a decision to play a certain set or song, you know. And I'm like, you know, whatever. Some people are into that kind of stuff. Some people sit and write set lists. I mean, I met a guy last night who knew what the show was after the first set. He's like, I think I got it here. And it was the one that they were playing, because they don't tell you what show they're playing till afterwards. And it was July 1st, 1973. Hampton Coliseum, I think. And I was like, that's cool to know. But he was looking at the second set. And I was like, I don't want to know what they're going to play. You know, but I'm just not obsessed about the details. I don't even know half the band, you know, the members of bands' names. I was always the guy who, I love music, but I never really knew much about the actual band members. And while my friends would read magazines like Circus and Metal Edge, you know, I'd have them once in a while, but I wasn't interested in really knowing the personal lives. I guess I've always kind of been that way with everything. You know, I don't really want to know the details of people's lives. Celebrities don't mean anything to me, and I don't really care. I have never had a real autograph from anybody, although it is cool to have, and I'm not going to deny that. I got an autographed CD from Papadosio. I entered like a drawing, you know, for like a couple signed CDs and posters, and bought like a couple raffle tickets at the show last month and won, you know, and I was like, cool, you know, that's great to win, but the money went to charity, that's why it was cool. And then I was even contacted by, weirdest thing, another coincidence yesterday, a guy was like, hey, I ran across he sent me an email, said he ran across my YouTube video mentioning how I was at the Papadosio show, and he said he could see I was really moved by it, and he was the head of Share Your Cloud, and the regional director in Indiana or something. Share Your Cloud is like I guess it's a non-profit kind of thing to help people out, and the bands are always having fundraisers. And this is what I'm saying, this is the future of music. This is why it's exciting to me, and that's why I'm talking about it. The future of music is not just dull and boring and crappy electronic, you know, tranced out, you know, raves or anything like that. The future of music is incorporating it's a fusion of everything that we've had. And many bands understand this, that it's not about, you know, trying to necessarily be new or innovative, but rather putting soul and feel behind your music so it really means something. You can play the same old few chords on an acoustic guitar and it always sounds good if you add new lyrics and a little bit of emphasis. And any guitarist knows this. I'm not a good electric guitar player, but I'm very honored to say that I can play acoustic pretty well, because that's what I learned on, and I love playing guitar, and I'm very grateful that I learned. I'm not phenomenal or anything. I'm no flamenco player, but I can do finger picking and play some songs that are complex, and it's nice to sit by the fire and be able to just play a 2 or 3 chord song. But the most important thing that I've noticed is that I have a song. One of the songs I've written that my friends like the best was called "Bottle of Air." I wrote it in like 1992 or something, and I can't remember all the lyrics too, but it's just an E, boom, E minor, boom, 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 and then a D, boom, 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 and it just goes like that, the whole song, and then it changes up for the chorus, which is pretty short. But it's still only 3 chords there, so it's basically 3 chords the whole song, and everybody loved it. It was a great song, and that was like an opening moment. I mean, it was like 20 years ago, so I had time to like really watch this in music. The simplicity is the key. You know, people like Stevie Ray Vaughan, phenomenal guitarist, but Joe Satriani, you know, back in the day, he's phenomenal. You know, but you know, it's not the kind of thing you really want to listen. I want to listen to. For me, I mean, some people are really into that, and everybody has their own choice and preference of music. And I'm definitely not saying this or this is good, because music is like food. I'm glad everybody doesn't like the same thing, or it'd be really expensive and really not that exciting. It's the variety, the spice of life, which is what makes it great. And in my opinion, music is as important to me as anything else, food. You know, everybody knows, even in ancient times, you know, the people would observe the birds, you know, listen to the rhythms of the wind, the rhythms of, you know, tapping branches and raindrops, and all of that became what we know as music. And when I was younger, I remember trying to picture what it was like back in the day when they first, you know, invented music, and I realized, you know, of course later, that there's no inventing music. It's just always been part of our lives. Tapping our feet, clapping our hands, as long as we've had hands. So. My son, I guess it's time to go. It's been a wonderful video. It's been nice talking to y'all. I hope you have a great day. What do you got there, buddy? These are the things, you know, when you're a father and you have 2 children, it's really hard to get a video out, but once in a while I'm able to accomplish a whole video without a dog barking, or a siren going off, or a kid screaming. But it's pretty rare. And I'll talk to y'all soon.